the screen quality, I'm not sure. Like for me, the screen quality, the video quality is poor. What about the remaining
Okay,
participants?
just I'll try to off my video once. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Okay. So before going into this, I just want to say one fact. So from by observing all the participants or interns who have selected for this internship, uh, I came to know that most of the people have got selected under their first preference or second preference of the five supervisors they choose. So means so when you are writing your SOP, I think you guys should select the top two supervisors out of the list you have in the MBBS, like I mean IISc MBBS or MPH internship website, because many of them will be mostly getting selected under the first or second, and rarely to the third professor. So with this, now I'm going into the next step. So now how to select your professors? So it depends based on your interests. Suppose if you have already a prior interest, for example, I am interested in computational and systems biology. So I have selected Prof. Bratati Kahali. And there is one more professor. He is also working under this similar field, which is also on computational. So I have selected two of them. And remaining three posts out of the five, I just kept them as fillers, so that now I can focus my SOP on both of them. So this is one strategy I have used. So this is for the people who have already a prior interest in one field. Suppose there are people who doesn't have any prior interest. So then what they can do is they can choose a field. I mean, for increasing the chances of selection, so they can choose two fields which are interconnected. Suppose you can think of microbiology and biochemistry. So when you are writing an SOP, you can write an SOP which is targeting for both these fields. But you should not select a field completely different, such as microbiology, which works on like wet lab, and something related to computational techniques, which completely works on computer, which is a dry lab. So that decreases your chance of selection. So that is one thing. So and third one, when you doesn't have any interest, there is a small cheat code, like out of the many professors. 1 minute. Like out of the many professors you see in MBBS supervisors or MPH supervisors, like there will be few professors who to whom there will be less competition from the participants. So you can choose that to increase your chances of selection and experience the internship. If this is your first experience you are getting in IISc. So these are the few techniques I have used. From my perspective, I have chosen a field before that I want to work on, a field which has both bioinformatics and computational techniques. So I selected both of the professors. And one more thing, before selecting which professor you want, just go into their lab website. Here you can see the professor's websites and go and read it. It doesn't only help to know whether they are working in your field, but it also helps to make your SOP more targeted and more specific to their particular lab. Okay. So I hope like these two are the professors, Professor Bratati Kahali and Devnath Pal, that I have selected for as first and second preference, and the remaining two professors as my third and fourth. And there is one more professor I don't even remember because I just added them as fillers. Yeah. So let's now dive into the second one, objective, which is SOP writing. So here you should make sure that your SOP should be specific and crisp, because you have only 200 words here. Okay. Uh, and up to now, is it clear, Pawan Kalyan? Can you just give me a
Yeah, it
confirmation?
was clear. Like the voice was clear, but the screen is not clear. Even I face the same issue. I mean, the sharing screen due to the poor internet connection, the screen,
Acha,
yeah, the screen
okay.
is blurred. Yeah, everyone is facing the same problem. Pawan, are you connected on Wi-Fi or just mobile data?
Uh, Wi-Fi only.
Wi-Fi only.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Or
Uh,
just a minute. Sorry
do
for
one
the
thing,
line.
like
Like
share your screen, or
you can
otherwise,
share me the document,
yeah, share the document. It will be better.
so you can share it.
You can
Sorry for the
drop in the
delay.
chat.
Yes, yes, I'm. Yes, Pavan, I have shared it to you in WhatsApp. You can share the screen.
Okay, we can do one thing, right? I'll be sharing my screen. You can, we'll do that.
Yeah, yeah. I have shared you the document in WhatsApp.
Oh, I think the screen is visible right now.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, you can continue.
Okay, but the comments are not there. Okay. So in my SOP, what I have done is like almost for all SOPs that I apply for any internship, I follow this technique. So first you should, in the first paragraph, I'll just give a brief explanation about the field, like brief introduction. Suppose now I'm interested in bioinformatics or computation biology. So I just told them about like the intricate genetic machinery of DNA and RNA and proteins has always made me interested, and I want to know about how this regulation happens and it affects the traits of the body. So I just gave a basic introduction, and later I just deep deeply dived into my background, my skills, such as I told that there are statistics and computation techniques which I have already learned before, and later how I got interested into bioinformatics. So this is how I explained in the first paragraph that how I got the interest in this field. So in the second paragraph, this is a main paragraph, like critical paragraph that you should focus on in your SOPs. In this one, you should mainly explain about what you have learned with this interest. Okay, you developed interest, but the professor wants to know what you have learned. So then I explained like I have learned DNA sequencing, transcriptomics, proteomics data types from my biochemistry professor, and what particular analysis I have learned. Like I have learned whole exome sequencing and variant identification in Alzheimer's disease and type 2 diabetes mellitus data. So here, one more important thing is when you're mentioning the skills you have learned, keep it more technical. So the person who is reading your SOP, he thinks that yes, this person has stuff, he learned stuff, so he could be the good person to work in the lab. So here you can see I have mentioned whole exome sequencing and variant identification Ubuntu. So these are those technical terms which can help you in increase your edge for getting selected. And next, uh, next thing in the second paragraph is you can add that what other things you have done to get an hands-on experience, because this is very important and it's optional, but it has more impact. Because means when a professor goes through your SOP, he wants a intern who can help them in their research work instead of just getting like going to the research lab and just learning stuff from them and coming again to your room. They want someone who can help them in their research work. So if you have an hands-on experience already before, So that increases your chance of getting selected. So here I have mentioned that I have done internship in IGIB, which is Institute of Genomics and Integrative Biology in New Delhi for 3 months. So I think this has been a critical point that helped me to get selected in this internship. And here also, if you can see, I have mentioned that I have learned transcriptome, data analysis, RNA-seq, and microarray, and machine learning techniques. These are some technical terms I have also added into this part. So now the third paragraph. So here, you should just mention your specific objective to your lab. Here I have mentioned I seek to study gene interactions in complex diseases like Alzheimer's, cardiovascular disorders by using GWAS methodologies and further techniques. So I have used these specific diseases because I went through my professor's lab website and I have seen what fields they're working. So I have added exactly those diseases to my SOP so that they feel that my SOP is aligning with their lab's research goal and it can increase your chance of selection. And at last, you can just mention your long-term goal, what you want to do. Here I mentioned that I want to integrate bioinformatics and clinical research to uncover the genetic and molecular mechanisms driving these complex diseases. So this makes the person who is reading your SOP an impression about you that you have a purpose and vision. So this will give a good impression of your SOP. And at last, this is also optional, but uh, this this always helped me many times that attach your GitHub account or any website of your works that you have, just attach a link so that it can help in cutting the words of your SOP and be within the word limit. And also they can go through your website and can see your work, what you have done. So in this website, if Pavan, if you can click it, we can show to the participants. Yeah, so here I have uploaded like what basics in R I have learned, and also there is one more repository. You can go and check it. I can share you the link. There I have added like what work I have done in my IGIB internship, and I have uploaded all the codes there. Yeah, this one exactly. So I think this is also one more thing that helped me in getting selected. And there is one more section in SOP, not SOP, sorry, in the MBBS internship form, that is achievements, in which you can present your academic achievements. But means that will be helpful. But most important thing is your SOP. So target writing well your SOP to your professors, mostly to the first and second preferences. Yeah, that's it. Thank you from my side. And also, just one thing. Pawan, if I can get 1 minute to share my screen, I'll just show them small pics of
Sure,
my
sure, sure.
internship experience.
Hmm. Okay, Pawan.
Yeah, is it visible?
Yeah, Pawan, it's visible, but still the screen is blur only.
Yeah. Okay, okay, no issues. I'll just
Maybe you can
go
drop your
ahead.
LinkedIn ID so that people can check it out.
Yeah, yeah, I'll do that also. I'll just go fastly once. So I have worked in Center for Brain Research in Population Genetics Lab under Dr. Pratati Kahali, who is my first preference, and it's a very good experience. And here what you can see is the CBR building. It's a very good environment where you can do a good internship. And this is my lab, and yeah, this is also. And this is the project which I have worked on. A part of this project that is Genome India. You can like once go through it in the internet, you will get to know about it. It's a very interesting project that's going right now. And Apart from just internship experience, you will also be getting chance of listening to professors from other countries coming here and giving their lectures. That's also very interesting part you will see. Mm,
Very well said, Pawan. I think you have made
yeah,
our made easy for
yeah.
us.
And this is
The next
Nanditha
speakers,
Madhav. We had a good like
memories.
fun time after our internship period. I mean, yeah, internship time.
Yeah.
Yes, this is from my side.
Thank you, Pawan. Thank you for everything. I think you have put very well all the SOP writing and the selection of the professors. I think it will be easy for the next speakers. We just have to add some points.
Yeah.
Thank you,
No,
Pawan.
thank you and sorry for taking some time due to my internet
Okay.
issue.
We'll be starting with the next speaker, myself. So I'll be sharing my screen right now. I'll keep it short and sweet because Pawan has covered most of the points. So for the selection of the supervisors, I'm much interested in like biomedical engineering field compared to the conventional one because conventional like we have seen it like in AIMS we did so many research projects, but I never had the opportunity to work with the engineers. So I have selected mostly from the people who are from engineering side. So I think this process is not there at my time. I selected in the, and even as Pawan mentioned, most of the times you will be selected to your first professor only. Rarely, I think out of 30 people, I have talked to everyone. 28 people said they are selected for the first choice. And the second professor, the second choice, one or two people got selected. So I would say stick with your stick to the first professor itself first and cover the second professor as well. Maybe 20% of your SOP, but stick with the first professor itself. And you have to select all the five professors in the same domain. So I'm interested in biomedical engineering, so I have selected main engineering like mechanical engineering and materials engineering. Like he was my last choice. Uh, and who else are there? Instrumentation, applied physics, electronics. Mainly, I'm interested in design and manufacturing. I got selected in Manish Arora. So this is how I selected my professors. Coming to the SOP writing, uh, this is my SOP. So basically, I had divided my SOP into five parts. First, an intro. I'm just flexing off my college right now here though. And the second one, what made me to pursue this internship? What is the triggering point for me? Why I started applying for this internship? So I have written like I have been driven by curiosity and passion for problem solving. And in my clinical rotations, I have noticed many prosthetic devices provide only basic support, sparking my interest in integrating technology into medical care, like a triggering point. Just a real case. Uh, and after that, what's my goal? What's my agenda to achieve? I want to uh, have this like hybrid 3D printed splint that improves aeration, prevent ulcers, and reduces weight. Like a splint, like normally in fractures, most of us seen will be go for a plaster of Paris. Instead of that, why don't we have an hybrid 3D printed splint which can prevent these pressure ulcers and reduce weight and which improves aeration. And I want to innovate this. But at the time, I'm not sure of the 3D printing. So first, my college or my intro. Then second, the triggering point. Why why I want to do this internship or why I'm into this field. Third, what I want to do, my goal. Fourth, what I have achieved so far. Because they want to see like this is not your first opportunity. Like you have already tried for some opportunities and what you have gained from them. They want to see that. So I have written I did an internship in neurosurgical planning under Dr. Amandeep Sen, where, as Pawan mentioned, use technical terms as much as possible because the SOPs will be read by the professors. The entire application will be screened by professors, not by the PhD students or anyone. And you have to know all the IISc professors have been in. very elite institutes like MIT, Oxford. They had did their PhD from there, and they have served as a professor also in that institute. So they know who are faking their SOP and who really did it. How they can differentiate by these technical terms only. And even the chat GPT can't give you these technical terms. So I have written what the things which I learned in my internships. And after that, right now what I'm doing. I'm currently working with School of International Biodesign under Dr. Rajni ma'am on his sprint project. Then after that, why I'm coming to IISc? For what purpose? What specific purpose will be served by IISc? It's an unique opportunity to collaborate with the experts in the bioengineering, electronics, and materials, providing the here I covered the remaining professors. You can think only one line for the remaining four professors. This everything, the 3D printing and the 3D printing software, everything. This everything is related to my first professor. He's working on the 3D printing thing, design and manufacturing. And what's my long-term goal? This aligns perfectly with my long-term vision for developing patient-centered medical innovations at the intersection of medicine and engineering. Even at the time of my internship, my professor has been, he remember every line of this SOP, even after 1, 2 months, like after selection in the April, I think so, you'll be joining in June, I think so, June or July. He remembers everything. So I would say, uh, keep an ample of time for your SOP writing. I think I have written like 17 times a draft for my SOP and I've shown it to multiple people who have already cracked this internship. Yeah, that's everything from my side. And apart from this work, apart from this, like the lab work and everything, you'll have an ample of time to go around the campus. And me and Pavan and remaining 4 to 5 friends have also been selected for IIS internship in the same year. So every week we used to go for a trip. Saturday, Sunday, we used to have holiday. I think you'll enjoy it. Uh, let's move to the next speaker, Dr. Nanditha. We will take the questions in the end, in the last 10 minutes. So if anybody have any questions, we can go for the last minutes. Okay. Nanditha, you can start.
Yeah, could you please project the link that I've shared you? It is the
Yeah, sure.
MPH card form.
Sure. Want this one? Nanditha, do you want this one like
Yes.
supervisor for the MPH internship?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Continue.
Okay. So, hi everyone. I'm not sure how many of you guys are from MPH background, but let me just tell you what my experience was about. So, basically, I am a dentist with a 1 year work experience, and then I went into public health. So, while you're aiming for an internship at Indian Institute of Science, it's mandatory to know about all the labs that is already there in the institute, so that just before applying, go through all the labs in the internship form. They'll just upload all the details for your convenience in the form itself. Pavan, I'm not able to see your screen. Is anyone able to see it?
Yeah, it's clear.
Is it visible?
Okay, screen is not visible.
Yeah.
Yeah, screen is not visible.
Yeah, 1 minute. I'll be.
Okay.
Mm, Now you can see, I think.
Yeah. So yes, as you can see for MPH internship, it's a little bit different from the MBBS internship. We have only 9 professors who are the supervisors for MPH internship. So among the 9, you have to choose 6 of the preferences that in whatever order you can choose. So as Pravan scrolls through, you can see that, let's say that Dr. Prasenjit sir is there. You can go into his profile. You can go into the lab that where he works in, and go through some of the research, that thematic areas and research that whatever the lab is doing. So you'll get to know which interests you more, because in MPH, when you're in MPH, you already have a UG background and you might already have a work experience which you're already passionate about. So I would say it's better to incline that with the lab ka mission and vision. So the first question for the SOP, you can choose to start with the introduction. As Pavan was also telling, I don't have my SOP with me, but it was very similar to what Pavan has written. It should be very short. If it's 200, if it says 200 words, do not go for 200 words. Just stick with 150 words, because people do not have time to go through all the lengthy paragraphs that we try to express. So just go with an introduction, with a very powerful introduction. Then talk about your narration, talk about your goals and where your academic qualifications are lying. Maybe try to narrate your story in a very single line manner, so that people know that everyone has this emotional connection also. So don't be specific, just don't be general, just be specific and tell your story in a very short line, telling why you are passionate about such a thing. Align your SOP with the vision and mission of that particular lab. So let's say me and Pavan, we both were under Professor Manish Arora. So he's under the UTSA Labs. UTSA Labs is the, they create sustainable and affordable technologies for medical community. So I am more interested into affordable healthcare for people. That is why I took public health. Like I switched my dental to public health because of that. So it is better to mention that in the SOP. And for a public health student, apart from what they have told, you have to write about the skills and the computer proficiency that you're good at in your SOP as well, because um, let's just say that I worked in a department where Center for Product Designing and Manufacturing is their work, but I have no interest or not much of an idea about physics or how engineering works. Like I'm not good at that, but I know that I would want to try and learn it. So everything has a public health aspect. So what I was doing was, they'll create the products. The product eventually has to reach the market. Since this is a product where it has a health value, I can go into the field and conduct some surveys and create some questionnaires and analyze the questionnaires carousels and give them a feedback that this is what the public would want you to do. This is what you have to modify in your products. So that is very mandatory for any kind of epidemiology, for any kind of product designing, or literally anything. Everything with a public health angle will play a major role. So in your SOP, just mention that you want to be in this lab because you want to do this, just in a very short manner. And if you have previous internship experiences or past experiences with some organization, do mention that I have worked under so and so person. If that person is very well known, just mention that person. Or else you can just mention your organization, because previously I had an internship experience in ICMR, National Institute of Epidemiology, before going to Indian Institute of Science. So I have mentioned that to Professor Manish Arora. And as Pavan told, sir is very keen on reading each and every line of the SOP. That when I joined for the first day, he did know my SOP by heart. That he was, intrigued to know about me more. So try to make more drafts. Try to spend some time on your SOP. So yeah, that's it.
Thanks, Nanditha. Very well said. I think both of us has been working in the same lab, and even we have worked in some good projects.
Yeah.
It was a memorable time.
Yeah. And obviously,
Sure.
the internship opportunity is not just about learning, guys. You'll have a lot of time to spend with so many new people. You'll create connections, and connections are everything. It's not just about career and just
Hmm.
academic. These people now, though, if I'm going to Delhi, I've visited these guys just because these people are like my brothers. So make connections, have fun, and it's a very beautiful campus. So yeah.
Even the exposure, I think so.
Yeah,
Even the exposure of the startups there, you'll have that
yeah,
feeling, yeah, you can also build some startup and people can support you and how the things work. You'll get to know
yeah.
so many things apart from your academic career, competing for
You'll get to
exams
meet so
and
many people who are very well, established in their own field. So if you know about them, it would be, after coming from IISc, the next institute I worked in, everyone know about the supervisors in IISc. So it's a good opportunity for you to, explore and, make your name and all. It's a good thing.
thank you, Nandita.
Yeah. Thank
We'll
you.
move to our next speaker, Madhav, Dr. Madhav.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. This is Madhav Krishna. Basically, I'm a dentist now. Currently, I'm pursuing MPH in KSX Medical Academy in Mangalore. And most of the points covered by my friends. But my experience, I'll share my experience, how I wrote SOP, how I got selected into that MBBS MPH internship program, all those things. First, as an MPH student, my focus is mainly on molecular epidemiology. My interest is mainly on molecular epidemiology. Many of people will know that tuberculosis, TB, is the main public health problem nowadays. Even though I didn't have previous lab experience, but in SOP, what I wrote was like how the what work is going on in lab. All those things I had seen. I went through lab website and I had seen what work is going on. And I wrote in SOP how that work is useful for my current MPH and my future goals, all those things. So, like that, I wrote an SOP, and that lab experience is very useful for me because uh, for biomarkers, basically, I worked on sulfur metabolism related to tuberculosis, how it is useful for my public health, all those things I mentioned in SOP. And like that, I wrote an SOP and I got a call and I got selected. So once I entered the IISc, I had learned so many things regarding lab techniques related to sequencing and plasmid isolation, all those things, all this stuff. Those things are very useful for my MPH, mostly towards molecular epidemiology. And one more thing, we have access to so many, once we got selected, we have access to so many conferences, workshops, all those things. So that's my experience. Thank you.
Thank you, Madhav. It's very well said. I think we can share them our work. If you have your work document, like the internship document, do you have
Yeah, I have.
the
Can I?
30 days? Yeah, you can share it. I think by that they'll have an idea what work we'll be doing in the labs. But then I'll be sharing my internship document. Uh, Maybe you can see here. This is my internship report. Like everyone who has been selected for the internship, they'll be getting like 35,000 rupees, and they should be it's 4 weeks to 8 weeks duration. So minimum 4 weeks you have to do it for sure. And after 4 weeks, you have to write a report what you have learned. And after that, within 1 2 months, they'll be transferring 35,000 to your bank account. Before that, you had to spend everything like the PGs. I think there are a lot of PGs nearby the IISc Bangalore, so it's very cheap. Like I think so 6,000 rupees per month it will cost you. and the food is also it's very minimal in the campus and even outside the campus in IISc. So I think hardly it will cost you around like 15 to 20K for everything. Even if you uh, have some trips and everything also within the Bangalore, you will spend like 20 to 25K, not more than that. If you're going out of Bangalore also, 30, 35K. I think you'll not be in loss. You'll be always in the profitable side only. This is my internship report where I have written acknowledgement, then after contents. What I have did, like basically what I did is like an ultrasound annotation. They have given like 1 or 2 weeks ka course. They have given me book and said me to study. And even I have been going to that Saint Johnson Hospital, I think so, which is like 15 kilometers away from IISc. I used to go there and learn like the ultrasound, fetal ultrasound, and I used to annotate the images for their software. And after that, I also worked in another PhD project for the body fat estimation. This one. And there's another thing of 3D printing. I tried to 3D print the fetal ultrasound images, and this is how it went. It's not as good as the 3D image, but it went well. So you learn something different from your normal from the medical course, where you have been chasing around the marrow videos completion and everything. Compared to that, you will be for 1 month, you'll just exposed to something different, and you'll have some interest and some spark, and you'll be meeting with so many startups people also. What is the one thing which I got away from the IS internship is like anyone can do the startup, but the thing is like it requires an immense time. You have to dedicate so much time to your startup. That is the main thing. I think if anyone has any doubts, we can take it for 5 minutes, and after that we'll wrap up this webinar. Yeah, sure. You can unmute yourself and you can ask. Were you guys able to get any publication done from the internship? Yeah, I got like 2 publications, I think so. But the thing is like I worked like even my timings are not that much consistent. I used to go to lab around 11 o'clock, which my uh supervisors like the lab assistant, he used to scold me for that. But I used to stay up to 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, up to night. So you will get publications, but you should not keep on forcing them. I want publication. You should show them like you're working so much, working so much, and they will be like, okay. I don't think they will be giving publication on the paper, but for a case like think of like a conference abstract or like conference paper, they'll be giving for a conference paper, but not for an paper per se. But I got one
Yeah.
paper publication also from a PhD thing. It depends upon the professor and on the work which you're doing also. Because I've seen so many of my friends, they are in different labs in which within 1 month they can't do anything. Like, so they won't get any publications like that. So if your main agenda is to improve your CV and get some publications, maybe you should choose something uh, dry lab, I think so, compared to wet lab. Go for a dry lab.
And one more important thing is the amount of like the duration you're doing the internship. Suppose if you're doing only for
Mm.
4 weeks, that is 1 month, it's like rarely to get a publication from the lab because the supervisor expects you to do some work and means for learning some skills it will just take two weeks, and for doing a project I think people cannot complete within 2 weeks, so that's why. So if you want to get a publication out of this, then try to do for 6 weeks or 2 months internship.
Yeah, like Pawan said, it's very true. Even I'm lucky because by the time when I came to the lab, the most of the things have been completed and they are at the verge of their completion. And I had started the preparation within 2 3 weeks before. Like me, Pawan have mailed to professors and asking any prerequisites should be done before coming to the lab so that we'll be on track in the work when we come to the lab. In the third year MBBS, usually apply for MPH or we can do MPH. No, a third year MBBS UG student cannot apply for MPH. It should be in your MPH degree only, and you should be enrolled in that course. Oh, there is so many questions.
Can we make one GitHub repository now and share the link to them? Or will it look bad if we make one before the internship application? Uh, Means actually they won't check when you have created the GitHub repository, but there should be some work that is done by you. If it's there, then it's no issues. You can like share it happily.
Some people are confused about the MPH and the MBBS course. I just want to give a clarity. I think Nanditha can give much clarity
Yeah.
about this thing.
So, so MPH is a separate degree. You guys have community medicine, and in dentistry we have community health dentistry, but it's a different thing. It's a different stream, public health as a whole, where you learn about epidemiology in detail, biostatistics in detail. So it is more focused on that. And for applying into the MPH internship, you have to be enrolled in some of the recognized institute which gives out MPH degree, because you have to submit a letter, recommendation letter from your professors.
Very well covered, Nanditha. I think it doesn't matter which year of MBBS you are in. If your campus can provide you a third year MBBS student stating phase 1 or phase 2, you can get into the internship. It depends upon your college. If the college, the preliminary prerequisite is like your college should have to state that there is a no objection certificate. Okay, like okay, the student can go for a 4 to 8 weeks of internships in IISc, and he is a third year MBBS student, third year phase 1 or phase 2 student from this so and so college. So it will take in 1 week, at least 2 3 days from your dean office or someone to get it signed and everything. So it's better to start from now for getting the prerequisite bona fide letter or NOC. It is already attached within the Google form itself, like at the end of the Google form.
Yeah, Pavan, many people are asking that many people didn't have any lab experience. Is there any lab experience needed? All those things. Actually, lab experience is not needed. Why? Because especially for MPH students, our colleges are not providing any lab experience. In SOP, you have to mention how that lab experience useful for you in future regarding genetic epidemiology related to molecular epidemiology. Lab experience is compulsory. So you have to mention how that lab experience useful for you. That point you have to mention. You have to highlight that point while you're applying for this thing, wet lab and all.
Maybe even if
And
you don't
also,
have
it
any
is
lab
not
experience,
mandatory to,
just use that.
yeah, it is not mandatory to, have a previous lab or research experience, or, even publication. You can just apply. I did not have any publication at that time, so you can still apply.
I think the publication wise though they will be seeing very less. Like publication, it doesn't matter for them. They just want like the person who is applying should have a trigger factor why he was doing this course or why he's coming to this internship and what he want to take away from this internship. These are the main two things they'll be saying regarding of everything. And they just want to know your background. Have you been into some courses? At least, okay, if you don't have lab experience, you can do some from the Coursera, you can just pick some courses and try to learn those to learn those like experiments. So it will be useful for you. And you can state that I'm interested in this field, so I did these courses and I want to gain more experience from your lab directly because my college doesn't provide or doesn't give me access to these resources. So I want to come to your IISc. And you can state in future I want to work in your lab. They mainly prefer people from the banked students and AIMS and remaining colleges also. Because most of the time what will happen, the bank students will be coming to the IISc internship most of the time, and even the AIMS people and the remaining college people most of the times they're not used to show up. Even if they got selected, they're not showing up sometimes. That's one thing which I have noticed.
And there is one more question people have asked, like, also is there importance given to our university marks and college name and reputation? University marks, I guess yes, it is. Means I
Hmm.
heard from other people who have got previously selected, so that will count. Means they will mostly look after like certain cutoff list, like they'll select people who are above certain cutoff. So make sure means having good marks will be beneficial, but I don't say ki even if you're having less marks, you may not get selected. Nothing like that. College name and reputation, yes, but that's not a major driving factor. I think up to now, what we said, everything is in your SOP, not even in your achievements or any other thing. Because as they said, Pavan and Nandita or Madhav, publications doesn't matter because they don't look into your achievements. They don't go into that section at all. They'll just go into your SOP.
Yeah, just SOP. Even the selection of professors, even they don't know which professor you have selected also. It's randomly like you select five professors and you write SOP, and the system will send this SOP to these five professors, and they'll be reading the SOP itself. They won't, they'll be checking achievements, but when they want to compare two people from the same college or something, like if they have like three people they have in their mind, and at the end, if they want to select one out of these three people, maybe they'll go for achievements or otherwise they'll go for the MBBS percentage or college name. Before that, they'll see your SOP, solely your SOP. I think we have managed to answer most of the questions. If anybody is feeling even they have some doubts, they can chat in the group, like in the Med Insider group. People, we can answer those questions. And we will also send our SOPs. We'll drop our SOPs also. What is the intake per lab? Yeah, this is a very good question, I would say. Even I was too confused because I'm applying for biomedical engineering people. So in the MBBS, it's like 30 people they'll be selecting. In MPS, I think they'll be selecting 10 people, right? Anita?
8.
8. Okay, yeah, 8. And the people, the professors who are in the 8 professor, right? Like one professor will select one MBBS student, and whatever the professor who are in the MPH line, they'll select one MPH. If they're already also in MBBS, they'll select one MBBS student also. So it's only one person. When application is open, which month of year? It's already open. Application is open. It's going to
Every year
end
it will open in March.
March only. So March, and by March 30 they'll close the application, and by April ending you'll get a call or you'll get a mail. Mainly the mail and a flyer representing all the people who got selected. That's all. And you will just have to confirm, like, okay, I'm willing to participate. I'm willing to come to the internship, and they'll call you. Yeah, this is the process itself. I think right now you have to focus on SOP and your process selection instead of worrying about the pages and everything, because day by day it's being so much competitive, and people are, even it's a paid internship, so it will be so much competitive. Thank you everyone for taking your time and coming to this session. Thank you, speakers Pavan and Nandita and Dr. Madhav.
Thank you.
Hmm. Thank you, Pawan, for hosting this webinar.
Thank,
And
thank you,
it's
Pawan.
good seeing again Nandita and Madhav.
Mm. And last question, no need to call me any professor before applying. If you do that, it's a negative, and they won't see your mail also. Even I got selected to an internship, and I have mailed my professor. He just saw my mail before 2 days when I'm joining the internship. So they'll not reply for your mail. So it's
But
waste of your.
I would just like to add, if you are interested in only one professor, make your SOP about only that professor. There is no need to, mail to him. So if your first preference is that professor, write your SOP, mention his name, mention his laboratory, why you are interested, everything in the SOP itself.
Yeah, I would say just focus on one professor will be enough, because he'll be selected by the first preference only most of the time, 99% of time. Only third year students are eligible. Third year phase 1 and phase 2, not the fourth year. Thank you guys. Good night. Have a nice day, everyone.
Thank you so much for listening. Thank you, guys.